Rumors of werewolves, vampires, and the like had come to figure in the softly told stories of those who had lived long in the grave fishing village. Over the years, the Collins family had warned their children and any visitors against penetrating the forest paths to the forbidden swamp. But once in a while, the warnings would be disobeyed. And on this early July night in 1969, this was the case. Maggie Evans had come to Collinwood to help Elizabeth by taking care of the children. Attractive Maggie had felt her duties would be light with David Collins, now 12 years old, and Amy Jennings, sister to Christopher, 9. They were at an age when children were reasonably self-sufficient and could be reasoned with. But in the past few weeks, a strangeness had come over the two youngsters. Their disposition seemed to change, and they became brazen and unruly. When Maggie or Elizabeth reproved them, the two youngsters became sullen and resentful. Through questioning, Maggie drew a weird story from them. David insisted that he and Amy had been visited by a shadowy stranger, and from then on he'd ordered them to do things. Vicious, cruel actions they would never have indulged in before. A certain haunted look had come into the eyes of the boy and girl that frightened Maggie. She had spoken to some of the others at Collinwood about what they'd said of the ghostly visitor, who put them up to their actions. Elizabeth had questioned the children, and then dismissed their fantastic tale as an excuse. Roger Collins, never easy to talk to, had simply frowned and walked away. Most of her discussion of the shocking change in the youngsters had taken place with pretty Marilyn, Elizabeth's daughter and near Maggie's own age. Marilyn was working in the gift shop of the Collinsport Hotel for the summer, and only home for short intervals. She'd taken a room in the village to be near her work, but she sometimes did come out to Collinwood when she had an afternoon or evening off. She'd had the afternoon off, and this warm day, she and Maggie had sat together in the garden, as they'd talked about the problems raised by David and Amy. "I can't make it out at all," Maggie had protested, the brow of her lovely face furrowed. "David has always been a good boy, and Amy used to be a sweet child. Now they're forever tormenting me and doing cruel tricks." Seated in a wicker chair opposite her, in tan shorts and blouse, Marilyn considered what Maggie had said, and then suggested, "Mother may be right. They may be using this ghost thing as an excuse. They've probably heard some of those grisly tales from the help. They're always repeating them, and it suggested to David and Amy a way to misbehave and not be punished." "You may be right," Maggie admitted. "Have you spoken to Mother about it again?" "No. She's so occupied getting the apartment ready for her visitors. I've hated to bother her." "They will be coming soon," Marilyn agreed. "Cousin Nina hasn't been home in years, and this time she'll have her husband's mother, and a male secretary with her party. It will fill the apartment and make the house a lively spot." "Indeed it will," Maggie said. "And I suppose the children will act up worse than ever." Marilyn laughed. "Don't let them get the better of you, and you might upset their ghost claim by having Dr. Eli Bremer, Nina's husband, look into their story. He's coming here mostly to do psychic research. He's one of the world's leading authorities on spiritualism." "I wish he was a leading authority on children's behavior," Maggie said ruefully. "Well, how about Cousin Barnabas?" "He's been the only helpful one," Maggie said, her face brightening. "Since he came to stay in the old house with his servant, he's been very nice. But then you never see him during the day. He's working so hard to complete that book about the family history." "Mother mentioned it," Marilyn agreed, shifting in her chair. "She thinks Barnabas is charming, but she finds his mute servant, Hare, a little frightening. Do you?" "He's a little strange, but that is probably because of his affliction. He hears well enough, but he can't utter anything but animal-like grunts." "It's going to be a busy place here at Collinwood this summer with all